Welcome back to Be Sacred Space, where we focus on self-mastery and co-creating our desired realities. I am the creator of this beautiful, amazing, and lit space. My name is Bianca, but you can call me B, and I am here to inform, empower, and support you. So please stick around. I promise you won't be disappointed. So I'm kind of joined today with our 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 pet horse. He's just hanging out. Yeah, he wants to say hi. You want to say hi? I don't have any food. I'm sorry. He wants some snacks. I'm not doing snacks. I'm doing a video. But hey, welcome back. I am so glad that you are here to join me. Today, I just want to talk about myself. Honestly, that's what it is. I want you guys to get to know more about me and a little bit about Be Sacred Space. And so, I'm sorry, I'm kind of getting like, I was like, what do you want to do? Okay, sorry. All right. So I want to tell you a little bit about myself, just so you guys can get to know who I am and understand like kind of my philosophies and actions in life and whatnot. But I am, let's see, how do I want to start this? So I had suffered from 14 years of depression, having anxiety, being diagnosed with bipolar. I was on many different type of prescription medications, as well as I've seen many therapists and psychiatrists through my life. I did not think that I was going to live past 25, and I am living past 25. I just turned 32 this year, so that's a big celebration for me. So with that being said, not only did I not believe that I was going to live past 25, I've lived 7 years past the age I thought that I was going to live at. And why did I think that I wasn't going to live past 25? I just was not very happy in my life, and I thought I lived as much as I could in a life. I feel like I did many things in my life that it would be okay to just pass away at 25. And that was such a silly and naive thing for me to think and say. But I did a lot of, sorry guys, look. I love living on a homestead, but I don't like flying bugs, man. Like, I don't like bees. I don't like things that buzz. I have some childhood traumas from that. So I'm sorry when I be doing my farm talks, farm walks. If there's a bug, you probably gonna see me freak out. So, we're just gonna be transparent about that. But in my youth, I self-harm, I was suicidal, I did drugs, I drank a lot, I just lived a very reckless life. I had no cares about my futures, not even my presence, and I just lived a very dangerous and reckless life. So to me, it wouldn't have been a surprise to not have made it in whatever way I would have went out. But I did not die at 25, because clearly I'm here making this video 7 years later. But I actually had my spiritual awakening at the age of 25. And so I did not go through a physical death, but a part of me definitely died and has continued to die as time has gone by. And the deaths are not always beautiful, even if it's not a physical death. I've gone through dealing and facing and healing and coming to terms with a lot of things in my life, and it's caused me to continue to be reborn. And so even from the person who I was a year ago is not the same person that I come to you today, and that will be the same for a month, 2 months, a year, 3 years down the road of the down the road. So when you come to my channel, don't expect the information and the things that are being shared to be always the same. I do believe in just because something rings true for you today doesn't mean that it has to ring true for you tomorrow. I think this is a good mindset to adapt, because things are always changing. We're always getting more information. We're always learning more about ourselves, our experience, our realities, other people. And so it's best to be flexible in our minds when it comes to our beliefs, our values, who we are. We shouldn't be so afraid to shed the old versions of us. Oh, hold on. Oh, I wish I could remember how to do this, but I can't. Sorry, I wanted to flip the screen so that you guys could see one of our barn cats. I don't know if you could see. Yeah, there she is. There's Alberta. But we shouldn't be so afraid to shed parts of us, whether that's our beliefs, whether that's what rings true for us, whether that's our values, whether that's our jobs, our place, our relationships, anything. We should be more open to allowing these changes to come in. And so since my what people deem as a spiritual awakening, the old reckless part of me has died off quite big. So I am celebrating 7 years being free, depression, anxiety. I don't identify with the whole bipolar thing. I think I'm naturally just a bipolar person. Like, I just feel like I experience extremes of everything. Like, whether that's living, being, feeling, experiencing. I feel like I just live a very extreme life. But I've been off of prescription medication for over 7 years, which this is not to persuade anybody on anything, but if you know anybody who is on prescription medication for mental health, like depression and anxieties, the SSIs, SSRIs, I highly suggest to educate yourself more on the dangers of these drugs. They actually do more harm than good, and I can testify that as someone who had been on antidepressants and whatnot for, I'm gonna say, about seven years of my life. I've been on many different ones and didn't really get a whole lot of good benefits out of them. But that's a talk for another day. But yeah, I've gone from feeling suicidal a lot of times, feeling really depressed and very low and self-harming, to actually being happy. Like, life's not all peaches and creams. I mean, life has its ups and its downs. But I've learned to make the best of my situations, to make the most of it, to not allow circumstances and experiences to take away my power, to take away my sense of who I am and my ability to direct my experience. And so that was a process that I have been taking for the last 7 years. So I just did a video on some tips about how to improve your mental health. So if you haven't checked that out, please do. I have been incorporating many tools in my life to turn it around from where I was heading, because if I didn't correct my behaviors, and had my spiritual awakening, I'm not sure where I would be at today, and I don't think it would be very pretty, but that's besides the point. But I've been implementing different tools, learning how to process my experience and take back my power and co-create my desired experience. And it's been amazing. And I've been able to do it. And it's a trying period. I mean, not a trying process. It's been a process that I've had to tweak along my journey during the last 7 years. But I'm very happy to say that my life has done a complete 180 to where I was at before. I no longer self-harm. I no longer feel dependent on prescription drugs. I feel happy. Like, I'm from Ohio. I will share that information. But I've always wanted to leave Ohio. I thought I would move somewhere warmer, but I did not. I moved somewhere that's slightly more, it's like Ohio for the most part. But I love it. Like, I live on a homestead. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, you guys hear my chicken. Well, you don't hear my chickens. You hear my roosters. I'm sure you hear my dogs over here just quacking around. Oh, yeah, those chickens. The chickens are talking too. I don't know if I showed that correctly. So hopefully, I'm not gonna edit this video. It's just gonna go up. So it is what it is. So I am still learning how to do all of the editing and producing. But for right now, we're just giving you raw, uncut, unedited, full authentic filming. Or yeah, that's just kind of at least what we're gonna call it. But yeah, so that's a little bit about me, about my spiritual awakening. So I do want to dive a little bit into this just to kind of brush upon this, because my spiritual awakening was a big catalyst in my life that really like changed and transformed my life. I don't know where I honestly would be without it, but I have a really chattered mind. It goes, just keeps going. And so I was partaking in some substances, a prescription, and I was smoking marijuana. And those two together. I'm not gonna disclose the prescription because I'm not recommending this. I didn't try to do this. I just did this to help settle my mind. And so those combinations did something into me, which I still can't explain to this day, but it changed my perspective in life. Like, I feel like it lifted the veil. I feel like I wouldn't say rose-colored glasses on, but I had blinders on, and I feel like when I had these two combination of substance put together, it triggered something within me that just lifted the veil right off, just threw it off. And the experience, the emotions, the way I felt I was moving in the world was like, I always like to, when I tell people about my awakening, I always tell people about the episode of Boondocks, which, you don't know, it's like a melanated cartoon show. I think it was on, like, not Cartoon Network, but the Adult Swim. I think it was on Adult Swim. I could be wrong. I could be really wrong about that, actually. But there's this episode where the grandpa starts smoking marijuana. And so he goes to the park and it pans out and he's like looking at the scenery and it looks like normal. And then he smokes the little joint and it pans out again and everything's like high def. It's clear, like it's absolutely beautiful. Like that's the best way I can explain like my experience. I felt such a euphoria. Like it wasn't like a high because I did a decent amount of drugs. I mean, not decent amount. I wasn't a drug addict, but I've dabbled in drugs for fun in my earlier years, and it's nothing I have experienced before. Like to me, this was being aligned to God's spirit for real. Like it was not just a feeling, it was not just an experience, but it was a huge major download. Like all at once, information started flooding into me, but wasn't processed. Like I don't know how to really explain that, but I couldn't explain what was going on. I had no reference idea of what I was going through. So I had decided, well, I didn't decide, sorry. So I kept thinking, like, what's going on with me? What's going on? Why is nobody talking about this? And I thought back to history class where there was a small paragraph, 2 paragraph on the Enlightenment era. And I don't know why my mind instantly thought about that. And so then I started looking into Enlightenment and just went down the rabbit hole down there. Like I've been through the extremes of going hardcore into conspiracy theories. I've been into the extremes of going on into spirituality. I mean, yeah, it really, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I had this piece of paper under here. I really hope that does not come through. I'm so sorry, guys. I am so sorry. Sometimes I just be going and I don't be thinking, so I do apologize. But, I had this spiritual awakening and it just really changed my life and continued to propel me on this journey. And so it's kind of led me here and to creating Be Sacred Space. And so what Be Sacred Space is ultimately is just meant to be a space where people can gather, people can feel safe, people have the ability to be themselves authentically, people have the ability to reflect, people have the ability to go through necessary changes and experiment with themselves and their abilities and potential, and having that support that someone will be there and hold them in a mother's grace as they experience their unique journey. And that's kind of what I want to do. And I think I forgot to put this in the intro because I think I got my intro down. But I'm here to inform, to empower you, and to support you on your unique journey, because sometimes it's lonely out here. And I'm not saying that you have to have someone to hold your hand, and life isn't about having people hold your hand, but it's nice to have support. And we don't live as humans, as beings on this planet, to do it alone. Sometimes we don't have the right support around us for us to grow through the necessary changes in life. And so we have and continue to enter a rapid period of growth. Things are changing rapidly for humanity. Where we are projecting to go, which I think that's going to be the next video, where humanity is, and maybe course, we'll gotta provide some solutions if we're gonna talk about the condition and the state of humanity. But yeah, this is what this space is supposed to be for. It's just supposed to bring in informations, ideas, for us to relook at the way that we view ourselves and we review humanity as a whole, because humanity only has two directions to go. Humanity can stay stagnant where we're at right now, and yes, people, humanity, we're not advanced, we're stagnant, and we not going anywhere. Humanity can either grow and learn and do better and experience a life of joy, happiness, freedom, abundance, prosperity, all that good stuff, health, vitality, immortality, or humanity can continue to be stubborn, stay in our old ways, and eventually wipe ourselves off the planet. I mean, it is what it is. That we're already doing it. We're continuing to do it, and this is the results. But if humanity don't want to continue to live this way, live in debt, live in poverty, live in slave wage, live in corrupt systems, like, humanity's got to change in more ways than one. But that's okay, because we're providing solutions and we're providing encouragement and support to do this, because we don't have to do this alone. We're powerful as fuck. As a whole, as a unit, we're powerful as fuck. So there's no real lose to, stepping into our potential and elevating. We just gotta choose to do that. And, having free will choice is not always easy. Is change easy? Not always. Some changes are better, easier than some, and some are challenging, some are hard, some kick your butt and kick your butt some more and a little bit more, but then it gets better. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit about myself, about Be Sacred Space. Yeah, so I hope you enjoy and you come back and you join us on these farm talk walks. I don't know. Maybe that's what we call it, farm talk walks. But yeah, I had fun. I cannot wait to see you guys the next time. I cannot wait to continue to grow along with you. And till next time, everyone, take care.